And good morning, folks. This is your friendly neighborhood Tironan, and today we are looking at the ME-209, fully modded, fully upgraded. It's got the super slow, super hard hitting, super long range, 30 millimeter on it. And I had a video up, which is rather successful. And right around minute 340, it seemed to freeze. No idea why. I've had to pull the video down. This will serve as the replacement for it. Now, you've heard me go over and over and over the ME-209, so you probably don't need a further introduction. If not, I'm just going to point you back to the other 4 or 5 videos. This will be the last video on the 209 for some time, so take a deep breath, relax, but I wanted to go through the full expansion so you got the full experience of what upgrading the 209 was going to be like. In retrospect, I probably would have spread it out over some other videos for a longer time, but live and learn, and I am still a rather new content provider, and mistakes will be made from time to time. Okay, so let's get on with this,
You are entering the zone controlled by the
and
enemy.
we'll take it from there. We just finished with the map of Albion, and we got our patooties handed to us pretty thoroughly. So this is the second attempt to get a video up for y'all. As time goes on with this aircraft, though, I do have some impressions of it, and I'll share them with you. This is a great high-altitude fighter. It does not do all that well at some missions. If you want to make a single strafing turn and add something lower, that's fine, but make it and then immediately climb back up to altitude. It's not a great turn and burn fighter. No matter what you do, if you run across, say,
Pilots, get ready for action. Let's go.
KI-194, or you run across a Spitfire 14, they will make a dog's breakfast out of you very quickly. And you can actually see the 30 firing. Very effective, it's very slow. But at least it's ballistically matched with the 20s. 20s will hit, your 30 will hit. Again, this thing is good all the way to 8,200 feet. I would urge you to use that. No reason with the reach on your guns to have to get into a low turn and burn. I made that mistake in the last video and it did not turn out well. Alright. high altitude and you run across one of these things, you are not necessarily the superior aircraft. You've got a little more speed than he does, but it's not by much. He does have the superior guns. Of the F-2G and its ilk, you do have the superior maneuverability. He has the superior guns. It is not a great bomber interceptor, I will tell you that without hesitation. Gun's just a little slow for my taste. Yes, welcome to Tier 8. You are going to have to provide a lot of lead. All right. And you do have to play by the rules of the aircraft and you'll have some success. If you do not, you will not. Very nimble at high altitude. And I see the rammer robot routine never gets old with these aircraft. It doesn't. Killer bots. Some 1950s sci-fi back to the rammer robots.
Receiving reports about rapidly deteriorating weather conditions. The port will be unable to reach you. Do you read me? Over.
Now, without any modesty at all, I can tell you that the I-250 is something to watch out for. It is extremely quick. It has a very good margin of speed on you. He will use it. You do have very long guns, which you can use against him.
That's it. There's no way to bring you now. You're on your own.
Alright. Strangely enough, as I play against this aircraft, this P-56 is not something that I'm finding particularly dangerous as long as you can identify them and maneuver against them. Not all that fast. Something I thought she'd never say against a jet aircraft. And some are slow. The Yak-15 is relatively slow. I say relatively, it's as quick as you are, and it's better. And with the full gun upgrade, it's a fairly dangerous aircraft. But like a lot of jets, you end up having to chase it all across the sky, and it can lead you, if you're smart, he'll lead you across a lot of fighters. Trying to get you off his tail. Yeah, as a case in point. Now the Yak-15 is a decent competitor against this aircraft, and the reason is if you're down low, he's got an 8-second turn time. At each of his guns is outputting 170 damage per second, and he's got a pair of them. So if you're not going, and he's actually a little faster than you are, so it makes him awfully difficult to get off your tail if you're low enough. He starts running out of gas around 6,000 feet. You got a couple of thousand feet above him, provided you don't chase a jet into his range. You can usually stay away from him. Word of the wise for what it was worth. Looks like we're going to win this anyway. I think we did pretty good on this video. And it shouldn't be long. Unless they kill us all, which they very well might. It's a nail biter. Will we make it or will we die? And that should be it.
I'm proud of you, pilots. Head back home.
Alrighty. Return to the hangar, see what we actually did. Alright, we killed 11 aircraft and assisted with 2 more, captured 3 sectors. Go to the summary screen. Got a token, always a nice thing. Alright, so this will wrap up the ME-209. We know we will not be showing another video on this anytime soon. Then it has to go into the mix of the endless number T8s that I have to do upgrades on as I grind them to T9. And the closest I am to any of them right now is about 70,000 points. So you're going to see a mix of aircraft as I bring up the T8s to T9s. It's unavoidable because of the way that the game is structured. I wish that they had simply made them, they leveled it out a little more and spread out the pain across the tiers a little more. But, you know, they have a successful formula, they run a successful game, I don't, so maybe they know better than I do, right? Alright, so that's going to wrap this up. My final thoughts on the aircraft are that it's an extremely good high-altitude fighter. It's going to match up very well with the P-51s, the I-250s. It's only a so-so bomber destroyer, ground attack destroyer, because of the slow firing 30. you know, if they doubled it, the rounds per minute on the aircraft, on that particular 30 millimeter, wouldn't break my heart for this aircraft, but I'm sure it's a balance issue. As for the gun, I will do some research on it, and you may hear that in a later video on another aircraft as I do some research on it. But the problem is that, as far as I know, it's a voodoo gun. Didn't exist. It's relatively nimble, especially at high airspeed. As you saw, it's quite capable of taking out a P-51. It's quite capable of taking on an I-250. It's quite capable of taking on just about anything at high altitude. And like the rest of its propeller-driven ilk, it has a lot of trouble with a 262. So be aware of that. Other than that, it's been a hell of a ride. I've really enjoyed the aircraft. And that will wrap it up for today. Let me thank you for watching. I pulled the old video, and I will discuss that for just a minute. At about 3 minutes and 41 seconds, the video froze up, and I normally do not review videos all the way through. After all, I just finished playing it, but I just want to make sure that it transitions smoothly. It's the first time that's ever happened here. I've pulled the video down. I'm putting this one up as a replacement, and I will be reviewing it all the way through to make sure that, in fact, it is a good capture and that it has translated. And I guarantee you the problem is in the translation between me and YouTube, because I went back and looked at the old video and it was fine. The capture worked just fine. So I'm going to put this one up, and then I will review it, and then I will make it public immediately. Apologies given, and I will be reviewing the video all the way through from this point on once it makes it up to YouTube and gets translated. Alright, folks, sorry about that. Doesn't happen the first time I've ever had that happen, and it won't be happening again. Remember to like the video if you like the video, and to subscribe. I need all the subscribers I can get. This is your friendly neighborhood Tironan, and I'm out.